Look around. Everyone's chasing more stuff, more convenience, more credit. But here's the ugly truth nobody wants to say. Consumer credit isn't just a tool. It's a trap dressed up as freedom, when really it's a leash tightening around your neck. You're told you're free because you have a card, a loan, a buy now, pay later option. But that's a lie. You're not free. You're debt-bound. And it's killing your chance to build something real. Why? Because consumer credit makes the future a hostage to the present. It's easier to swipe, to borrow, to pretend you've got it all figured out now. But this now is an illusion. Every swipe feeds a vicious cycle. Quick cash for quick fixes, but with interest growing like a silent parasite. Meanwhile, real growth, real capital building, it gets buried under piles of monthly minimum payments and deferred consequences. Founders, investors, leaders, this should ring alarm bells. Your personal and professional power drains every time you lean on consumer credit to fuel consumption rather than creation. Here's what most won't tell you. Relying on consumer credit is the biggest enemy of real capitalism, the kind that builds, evolves, disrupts. It seduces with false promises of comfort and status, but strips away real freedom. Freedom to take risks on your own terms, to invest in what matters, to build equity that lasts. Consumer credit turns you from a creator into a consumer clown, juggling debt just to keep appearances. And the system loves it this way. Short-term consumption propped up by debt, not long-term wealth built on real value. But you're not stuck in this mess. The fix is brutal but simple. Stop using consumer credit as a crutch for your lifestyle. Instead, treat money like a weapon, not a toy. Cut the noise. Track every dime. Know exactly where it goes. And, even more important, why it's leaving your hands. Build a discipline system. Set hard limits on credit use. Make a pact with yourself. Debt is only for assets that push growth, not liabilities that bleed your future dry. Next, flip the mindset. Stop seeing credit as a safety net. It's a chain. Invest heavily in cash flow optimization. Build buffer capital, so you never borrow for necessities or convenience. When you have buffer capital, you hold real power. You negotiate deals, you create opportunities, you say no to toxic debt traps. Cash flow discipline isn't sexy, but it's the foundation for every empire worth building. Then, focus on scalable cash generation, whether that's in your startup, investments, or side projects. Push relentlessly to generate repeatable income streams. Real capitalist power doesn't come from borrowing to buy toys. It comes from owning systems that keep putting money in your pocket without you having to beg banks for credit. Here's a secret others ignore. The debt culture feeds feelings of isolation, frustration, and constant stress. Ever feel like you're running on a treadmill that never stops? That's what credit reliance does. It's stealing your mental peace and your ability to think clearly. Capitalism in its purest form is about creating value, growing networks, and multiplying resources. But debt mismanagement enslaves you to the system's rhythm. Buy, pay later, repeat, leaving zero energy for innovation or real leadership. So if you want to break out, get ruthless with your money. Borrow only to accelerate growth, never to maintain appearances. Cut consumer credit out like it's a bad habit. Build liquidity until you have choices, real options. Surround yourself with partners who think the same way. People who build, who innovate, who avoid debt like the plague. If this is done right, what happens next is powerful. The cycle flips. Instead of debt owning your time and mind, capital owns your debt. You become the creditor, not the debtor. Suddenly you control flow, you control risk, and you're the one who calls the shots. That's true freedom in capitalism. Not the lie of borrowing to spend, but the discipline of building to own. It's not easy. It demands brutal honesty and consistent action. But everything true in capitalism requires work and brain power, not handouts or quick fixes. The question is, will you keep living like a consumer on credit's leash, or will you step up and build real capital, real power, real independence? The system wants you small and indebted. You need to get bigger and unchained. The choice is yours. Use credit to control your life, or cut it loose and take control of your future. No excuses, no delays. Start now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check the featured link to learn more.